Hello everyone, today we're going to see migration in Laravel, which allow us in the process for developing. This helps us with the database management. Here we can define the complete structure of our database. For example, we can create drop tables, add relations and constraints, modify data types, rename tables, and etc. Migrations are really helpful because they allow us to have the latest update of the database by only running this command php artisan migrate, which helps when we are working in a team of developers. So let's start on how we can define it. Well, first of all, we are going to have all of these under the database folder. This is located in the root of our project. Here we are going to have the factories. Factories are the ones that define the structure of the seeders. Seeders are to fill the database. Migrations are more to help us to define the structure of our database. And let's see how we can create them. First of all, we are going to check the end file, which is also located in the root of our project. Here we are going to see these properties, which are related to the DB connection. We can go to our MySQL and we can create a database. So what we can do here is we can just click in shell, login in MySQL. You can also have other options. It's not required to be MySQL. I'm just going to create a database here. I'm going to call it as text. So I already have a database text, so I'm going to fill this with that info. So the DB is going to be text. My username is root. This is not appropriate. This is only for local because when running in a production environment, you should have a user with a specific runs. So after we define all of this, we can create our migrations. So in order to create our migration, it's going to be easy. This is to create a table. So we are going to run that. It's going to create that under the migrations folder. It's going to have today's date plus the name that we defined. Also, if we specified that the number starts with create, the name of the table is going to fill us with this default schema create. So here we can define more fields of our table. Here we can see the most common. In order, we have to create an ID that is hard to increment. You can see that we already have it. Timestamp is going to create the fields, created that, and modified that. We also have more fields, so you can also see here in the Laravel documentation. So here we have all of the types that are supported. So you can look on them later. Basically, they are like the most common in any of the databases. So we are going to create our product table with some of them. So now that we created, we can just run php artisan migrate, which already is going to create our products table. We can verify that by going to MySQL, select our database, and see that we already have the table products. You can see the structure and it's what we defined. Now let's see how we can create another table and then leave the foreign key. So we are going to create another table. Let's call it store. We are going to have an example which each products belong to a store. So we are going to create this store table, and after that we are going to add the foreign key. So after we did that, we're creating a table store which has name, description, and address. So we are going to run it and we are going to verify here. So we just go again to text and we already have the table store. As you see here, we already have all of the fields defined. Now let's create our foreign key, which is going to link our products to a store. For doing that, we can create another migration. This is in order to have every logic separated in case we want to see how it is working. So we are going to create another migration. And here what we are going to do is that we are going to add a new field that is going to call store ID under products table. After creating a table, we can also add, delete, or rename our columns. also modify the data type by doing this. So from here, I'm saying that I'm going to modify the table products and I'm going to add a foreign ID, which is going to be called store ID. It's going to be constrained to the table store. And whenever we do an update or a delete, it's going to apply the cascade. If you want to prevent this, you can just remove that and it will drop you an error if you want to delete something that it's belonging. So now we can run again the migrate. And now we can look again in our table here and we can look for the products table. As you can see, we already have this store ID, which is linking to our store table. We can see that easier if we use the designer and we look for the store. As you can see here, it's linked to the products table. So with this, we already know how to create migrations, how to change the structure, and you can look more into Laravel documentation or in this post if you have any doubt. As you can see, migrations are easy to use and this helps us a lot with maintaining the database updated. So thank you for watching. Please feel free to comment.